Untitled Romantasy Project, Chapter 3, No Way Back, by Pseudo Anonymous. The next morning, Lulia woke in Westcott, her body sore, her spirit dull. The room smelled like old smoke and regret. She dressed silently, descending the creaky stairs. Downstairs, the lateran mud was quiet, save for the faint strumming of a lute. Ken and Doddenstry sat on the edge of the stage, tuning strings, humming softly. The same magnetic calm he had last night surrounded him like an aura. She hovered near the bar, watching him. She drifted closer. They sat together on the stage steps, the tavern empty, but alive with yesterday's echoes. "I saw you last night," he said. "You walked into a strange city, got robbed, hit rock bottom, and still stood like the world hadn't beat you. That's something." Lulia folded her hands in her lap. "The world did beat me." "But you're still here." She looked at him, then really looked. His eyes weren't just handsome, they were safe. "Do you always notice broken people?" "I notice people who don't pretend they're whole," he said quietly. Their silence was soft, easy. "You ever feel like your old life is behind glass?" she asked. "Like you can see it, but you can't touch it anymore?" Cannon nodded. "Glass shatters easy. Sometimes that's the only way to start over." Her breath hitched. She leaned in. Their kiss was slow, warm, tasting of soot and sorrow. When it deepened, her hands gripped his thighs, urgent but unsure. He'd pulled back slightly. "Here?" She smiled. "You have a dressing room?" He did. Backstage, behind a faded curtain, was a tiny nook barely big enough for a man in a dream. They squeezed in, and suddenly the air grew thick. Her hand slid up his shirt, feeling heat, not magic. She kissed him again harder, now, and sank to her knees. He looked down, dazed. "Are you sure?" he asked. She answered without words. She had a full, bright glow around her that lit up the entire room. His head tipped back, lips parted as her mouth worked him slowly, reverently. It wasn't just desire, it was hunger. He groaned softly, hand on her hair. Just as the tension in his breath threatened to break, a crash rang out in the tavern, followed by shouting. They pulled apart fast. "Stay here," he said, buckling his belt as he ducked out the curtain. Lulia, still catching her breath, stepped out behind him moments later. The bar had transformed into chaos. Joppy stood in the center, staggering drunk, shirt ripped at the collar, a bottle dangling from his hand like a weapon. His eyes burned red with fury. "Lulia!" he bellowed. "I asked every damn stable hand from here to the valley if they'd seen a pretty girl with too much wine in her eyes. They all pointed me here." Joppy slurred, waving his bottle. "You think you can run off and hide in some piss-soaked bird hole?" Her stomach dropped. "Oh no." "You ran away," Joppy slurred. "You left me like I was nothing. And now you're what? A whore in a tavern?" "Stop it," Lulia said, stepping forward. "Just go home." Cannon stepped between them, his hand out. She said, "Leave, Joppy. Walk away." Joppy sneered, swaying slightly. "Who's this? Her new ballad boy?" Joppy raised his bottle, muttering something slurry and guttural. "Tharn Vanik." The glass flared green, then cracked with a pop. A gust of force burst from it, slamming into Cannon's chest. He flew back into a table with a grunt and crumpled to the floor, out cold. Lulia screamed, "Cannon!" Joppy turned wild-eyed and swaying. "Now, where were we?" The tavern held its breath. West stepped from behind the bar, slow and menacing. "You need to leave, boy." West pulled something from under his coat, a jagged chunk of obsidian bound in leather. He whispered a word that cracked the air. The stone pulsed, then howled like a wolf. A spectral beast burst from the crystal, slamming into Joppy and dragging him across the floor. The patrons screamed. Tables flipped. When the ghost beast vanished, Joppy lay broken bleeding from the mouth, unmoving. Lulia ran to him. "Joppy?" She dropped to her knees, hands glowing faintly, now panicked instinct. She pressed her fingers to his chest. The light surged, flickered, then sputtered out. "No, no, no." But there was nothing to save. Joppy was dead. She sobbed once, ragged and real. "I didn't want this." No one in the bar spoke. The silence was suffocating. Lulia's body burst into radiant light, her features lost in the blaze. A scream tore from her, raw and primal, shaking the walls. A shockwave exploded from her chest, hurling people back and toppling tables. Lanterns shattered, sparks catching on the curtain's flames, leapt to life. She collapsed, limp and glowing faintly, sobbing as fire spread through the smoke-filled bar. Wes knelt by Joppy's body, while others rushed to put out the flames. The firelight danced off the pooling crimson, but his eyes were already on the door. "We can't stay," he said, voice low and urgent. "Joppy's family's got gold, land, and a name that makes city guards bow. They'll come asking loudly." Lulia clutched Kennan's arms, her face pale. "I tried to save him. I tried." "You did more than most would," Wes said, rising to his feet. "But it won't matter. They'll say we lured him, robbed him, murdered him in cold blood." Kennan looked toward the shattered door, then back at Wes. "Where do we go?" "Out the back," Wes said. "Don't grab anything. Don't speak to anyone. From this moment on, none of us ever knew a man named Joppy Jampson." Cannon grabbed Lulia by the arm, looking around as the Lateran mud became engulfed in flames. They ran out the back door. Hello, bonjour. I am Crandall. Welcome to the podcast that answers the question, if an infinite number of monkeys will write Shakespeare, what can a few dozen monkeys do? This is an interactive podcast, and together we will write a story of 10 chapters. The genre of this season is romantasy, and this time we're going to write chapter 4. Don't worry if you want to participate, but you have no idea what to write for chapter 4 because a brainstorm is incoming. And now it is time for the chapter hero's words. Pseudo Anonymous says, "I'm excited to return to writing after our last novella. What a ride that was. I hope my style stands out, a blend of action, combat, and death that pairs naturally with romantasy's emotional intensity. These elements are, in my view, inseparable from the genre's heart. I'm glad to be back and ready to dive in again. Bye-bye, Joppy." Thank you, Pseudo Anonymous, and welcome back. Yes, Pseudo Anonymous featured heavily, I would say. I think they wrote 3 chapters, maybe 4 chapters in the first season. Fantastic. Took the story places we did not know it was going to go, which is the point. So very, very, very cool. And of course, Pseudo Anonymous, you know the rules by now. We thank you very much for your contribution. It was fantastic. But you cannot come back for chapter 4. Sorry. But we will definitely be talking about your chapter in the brainstorm, so enjoy the episode. And you're certainly welcome back for chapter 5. So if you do want to write in, but you're like, oh, I don't know, don't worry. Because we have a guru for this season named Georgia Summers, who is a romantasy writer. Let's hear her tip right now. Georgia Summers says, "It can help to consider your romantic moments like a set number of cards in your hands, currency to spend on your reader. Spend too few, and your reader might feel like they're missing out on the romance they were promised. But spend too many, and you might find that you lose some of the excitement that comes from anticipating a romantic moment. What do these cards look like? That depends on how your character's relationship develops. You could have the first touch card, first kiss card, romantic confession card, and more. Thank you, Miss Summers. We are all a little more knowledgeable about romantasy now that you have shared your... Oh. Wait, is that... It is. I know that sound. I know it. It's a brainstorm. Well, I guess if it's time to mosey on through the bookcase secret passageway into the Spooky Room Productions Lounge. No, I mean, there's got to be someone there to help us brainstorm, right? I don't know. Who can say? Let's just go see. Oh God, I hope this works out. Oh God.
Welcome to the lounge.
Thank you. Hi. Who are you?
This is Ripley Stonebrook.
Hi.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
What are you doing in the lounge?
What are you doing
Who let
here?
you in here?
I've been drinking grape all day.
Oh my God.
I'm drinking purple. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Rip, he's making his own boozes now. So
It's purple.
he really likes the purple one.
Mm.
Anyway, hi.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going?
You know, just sitting in here, reading a great new story.
Oh, and so your friend Pa is back. I know
Pa's back.
you were really begging for Pa to come back, and
I was hoping.
Pa came back, saved the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a really nice chapter. I think it's really good.
It is.
And
It
made
is
me
really
laugh
good.
a couple times. I don't know if it was supposed to, but in like the best way possible.
Before you go anywhere, do you just want to mention the two great lines?
Sure, go ahead.
The first one is piss-soaked barred hole.
Yeah, I think I'm going to use that in my everyday life.
Yeah, that's a T-shirt right there.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah. So
So thank you.
Paul, you should make that T-shirt.
Yeah.
That'd
Paul
be great.
merch.
If you want us to make it, just send us an email.
Yeah, there's an email thing at spookyroomproductions.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well there you go.
I think it's spookyroomproductions@gmail.com.
Oh, okay. That's
Pretty simple.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. What's the other one? Let me get it right. Oh, a tiny nook barely big enough for a man and a dream.
Yeah, that was inspired.
That's very nice.
I feel like maybe Paul had a glass of wine before they wrote this, or I hope they had one after, because this is a triumph.
I've been watching some noir movies. I could see that whole guy walking in, piss-soaked barred hole, and his goons are running in. And
Yes.
yeah.
And we had another really tasteful sex scene.
Yes, it was.
It was erotic, it was descriptive, but there was no,
We have no idea what his
description
dick
of
looks
members.
like. So.
Exactly. We really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I found out that I was going to have to do a romantasy, I was really afraid I was going to have to disqualify people for being too graphic, or I was going to have to read
But this is filthy.
weird stuff out loud. But that is filthy, but it's very, very classy, so I
Like a
appreciate
handful of grapes, and it's like,
that. What?
don't need that.
Anyway, and
I don't know what that's describing, but I don't want to know about it.
And the magic level has really jumped now.
Oh my God!
It's,
When the bartender has, ghost wolves, we're up there.
This is full-on magic
It's
now,
like that's
everybody.
his sawed-off shotgun that's behind the bar at all times.
Yeah.
Is his ghost wolf? He's like, oh, don't make it pull the wolf.
When I was reading this,
I'll go wolf you.
when I was reading this, and Joppy showed up, and he was so drunk. That blew me away.
That was fantastic.
I was like, yes.
We all know that sloppy drunk boyfriend. It's just like you broke up with him, and then he shows up at the bar that you all go to, and there's only one good one there in the town. He's like, ew, slut.
Look, to be fair, she didn't break up with him. She ran away. She didn't. She could have broke it. She could have waited, slept on it. She kind of went crazy. But anyway,
No, that's a breakup sometimes.
I
She
suppose.
ghosted him,
Uh-huh.
and then he got ghost wolfed.
And now he's dead.
Mhm.
So, like, once again, we have Pseudo Anonymous ripping down everything we created.
Which is wonderful.
He's
I
like,
like it.
Pseudo Anonymous was like, okay, the point of this, the beat to get is that there's nothing to, they can't go back.
Mm-hmm.
They're burning down the tavern.
Yeah, there's
Joppy's
nothing.
dead. It's like they have to go.
Mm-hmm.
Which is that's a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Although I think that, well, you know, they're just going to get to where the same spot we were at. We're like, the brother. There's only one place to go, the brother.
Swin time.
Swin. Oh, you mean for the last chapter?
Yeah,
Yes,
let's
yes.
swind it. See
Swindy.
if it was swindy or not.
SWIND.
SWIND.
Are they
Are they in
or
love
just
or
horny?
just horny? Swin. Okay.
Well, are they? Are they horny?
Okay, so SWIND is an acronym that I made up. I had to figure out a way to explain it really succinctly. Anyway, the point is 3 out of 5. It is technically a romantic situation. So let's go through the 5. S is spontaneous or surprise.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of spontaneous. She just kind of wandered down into the bar and she like sat next to him and was like, more.
Mm-hmm. And who initiated?
Let's see. He said, he says, they sat down on the stage. He was really nice and supportive to her, which was really cool, actually. It was a nice little back and forth. But then she kissed him. Oh, no, wait. It just says, it says she leaned in. It says she leaned in, so I guess she was the aggressor.
Yeah, so he was surprised.
So yeah, it was and then he was like here, like he was like literally said it. So okay, and then
So she's seducing him.
okay, but anyway, the point
See
was,
if it's romantic for
is
him.
it a sure? It doesn't matter. It's really the entire
The
situation.
situation, of course.
Okay, so was it spontaneous or surprise?
Yes.
Yes, I would say yes. W, weird lighting.
No.
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 I, isolation. They did go into the dressing, so that's
Yes, that's the setup of the isolation.
Yeah, so that's 2. Nature, no.
No.
And dancing or at least music, no. So it's not officially a SWIND romantic situation, which is fine, you know. Okay.
Half-hearted blowy wasn't romantic.
It was not half-hearted. It was not. Did you read the line? Okay, let me. Half-hearted. That's offensive. Let me
It's
see.
true, she seemed really into it.
A second. And he even asked her if she was sure before she sucked his dick. That was
yeah.
amazing, by the way.
Mhm.
Consent is cool. It says, wait a second. Her mouth worked him slowly, reverently. It wasn't just desire, it was hunger. That does not sound half-hearted to me.
Yeah. You're right.
Okay, I don't know why I had to go so hard about that, but there we are. So the beats we have to do for this chapter 4, we have to do the second half of The Door Opens, and I guess I'll just read
I just posit that. Yeah, go ahead and read it.
the second half, maybe? Okay, I'll just read the whole thing.
Yeah.
In this part of the story, the hero is on the brink of a big change. They face a small but significant problem that makes it clear there's no turning back to their old life.
Yes. Yep.
Not Pa style. Pa goes
Significant
wild.
problem.
It's like everything upside down, and they feel hopeless, but they know they have to push through and keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got there.
that's good. The main characters are starting to fall for each other, showing their bond growing deeper.
They fell for each other pretty hard. If you're saying
And
that
well,
it's
the thing is, right? Because like in my mind, I was like, you know, she got it out of her system with Wes, and now she's gonna like realize that she wants both love and sex and not just one or the other. But she's throwing herself at Canon as well, so I think she's still kind of just on a little tear. Okay.
Well, he was probably wearing those super tight barred pants. But couldn't resist those ties.
Yeah. Anyway, and we also have to do all of beat 6. Is called What Doesn't Kill Me.
Well, I'd say that all of Beat 5 is done.
Pretty much, yeah.
Their bond has grown deep.
Sure. You're right. Okay. I was gonna say balls deep or throat. I mean, there's anyway. But I didn't say those disgusting things.
Didn't say them.
Because that would be gross. Okay. Anyway, so I guess what we're really gonna do is beat 6. What Doesn't Kill Me. Okay. Main character 1 goes through challenging tests. Usually 3. realizing they won't succeed at all of them right away. They're likely to revisit their mentor from the beginning for guidance as they navigate these trials, showcasing their growth along the way. Readers will see how much the hero has changed, but also understand that more challenges lie ahead. The main characters start to feel hopeful about love, sensing a connection that's different from anything they've experienced before. Okay, so we
And
can.
Joppy is dead.
Joppy is absolutely dead.
So now the threat is
Well,
the
unless
law.
there's a necromancer,
Ooh.
not just the law, but also Joppy's family. Wes
They
says
are
it-
the law. They have the money.
well.
Money is the law.
It says very clear. Let me see what Wes says. He says,
The last card.
it says, wait. Joppy's family's got gold, land, and a name that makes city guards bow. They'll come asking loudly. So I'm just saying that, yeah, I guess that's the law.
They're the law. The law's coming.
But anyway, so to get the part where they can revisit the mentor, if the mentor is Wes,
Yes.
we can get that out of the way right away. Because the last chapter ended with them leaving the bar and the bar on fire.
It's insinuated Wes isn't running with them right away for some reason.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I think that what should happen is Wes should interrupt them. Like, he pops his head out the back. He's all covered in soot and shit. And because he's trying to fight fire, he's like, actually, shit, like, you guys should go and find my brother.
I must save my books.
No. Just him saying, or you know, maybe Lulia or Cannon is saying, like, oh, shit, I have to grab my blah. And they run back inside. And then Wes sees them and says, what the fuck are you doing here?
You stupid.
You have to go find safety with my brother, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, that could be a thing. But I think we should do that right away because they're already fleeing, so we don't want them to flee too far. Or we could have them flee randomly and then somehow get in contact with Wes. But that seems sloppier and takes more time. So let's just, like, have him pop his head out or something and be like, oh, I don't know, maybe he throws them a bag of supplies or something. I don't know. And tells them to go find his brother. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So maybe Lulia falls down and hurts her ankle or something. And that way Cannon can help her get up. But also that buys them enough time so that the back door can open and Wes can throw out a sack that has like food and a magic item in it or something. There's like, oh, you'll need this.
It'll be his go bag.
Exactly.
He's been waiting to go at all times anyway.
So there can be any. So now the magic is full on. Magic can do anything. So you know. I guess if she can heal, actually she has healing powers. I guess if she fell and hurt herself, she could just heal it. Oh, maybe Cannon fell. What was that? Hello?
Hello?
What was that?
What?
All right. So maybe Cannon falls down and hurts his ankle.
Oh.
Buying the time for Wes to open the back door and say, you'll need this, but also give her a chance to actually show that her healing powers exist and do work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'll do. And then off they go.
So then Wes is like, you'll need this. Go find my brother. He's XYZ.
Doing hippie stuff in the woods.
Okay. Maybe that magic item is like a star map or something. Like at night you take the item out and it shows magic in the stars. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, you can hit that part when you hit that part of the beat.
I'm just saying, okay, so what part of the beat is that?
Well, first they have to get away, so they'll
Yeah.
escape for a little bit, and then we should have a little quiet time once they get to the woods.
Okay, so they run through the woods all day, and then they have to camp. And luckily they have food, because that would be on my mind. I'd be like, well, how the fuck are they going to eat if they're on the run and they don't have anything?
Yeah, so they've got some food and things, and they can run for a bit, and then they can finally settle down for a few seconds
Oh, maybe
and have a little moment.
maybe they have to wait for the magic star sign to
Yeah, the sun
to
could be going down, and so they
Yeah.
have to wait until it's completely down for the stars to come out,
Yes.
and so they have some time to talk. And then Lulia can have a little vulnerable moment where she talks about her feelings about what just occurred.
Yes. And I guess have an actual romantic scene, not just another
Oh yeah,
sex scene.
and that's another reason to have it happen at sundown. Got that sunset going on.
Oh, it's weird lighting.
Weird lighting right there.
That's
They're in the
weird.
woods.
That's nature.
That's nature.
They're isolated for sure.
They're definitely isolated. What's left?
Spontaneous surprise or dancing or at least music. But we already have 3. So it's already officially a romantic situation.
They could be surprised by, what is this waterfall? Oh.
Sure.
Add that in if you want.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, she can discuss how she feels about Joppy's death, etc. And that'll cause them to talk about their feelings and get them into that romantic situation to transition from the run to romance.
Yes. But, yes. The thing about romance that I think is the most romantic thing is when one person fills in the gaps that the other person is missing. So to do that, we had to figure out what is missing in Lulia.
She needs dick.
But is there a deeper meaning to that? Because, obviously she's on a little bender right now with all the dick she can handle, or trying to get all the dick that is around her. And, she can do that. That's her thing right now. But why is she that way? Like, why did she run away just for no sex?
Well, her life was being controlled before because her father was deciding who she's going to marry, or Joppy was deciding how things are going to go down. So maybe what she wanted was freedom.
Just independence.
Independence.
Sure. Okay, so if she needs independence, then we need Canon to be the one to support or supply that.
Yeah, she can supply all the things in her life that she doesn't have anymore, but also allows her to be independent. Because he's super open to an open relationship.
What?
So she could be independent.
I mean, I don't think they're dating anyway, so...
No, that was a joke.
Oh. Yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know. Some scene where they bond a little more, but maybe not have sex.
Oh, no, this is supposed to be a romancy part.
Yeah, like maybe they could touch each other, or maybe have a little smooch.
Yeah, a little snuggle, maybe next to a waterfall or a river or some such, under a tree where you got the woods there. You're good. You got the sun going down.
All right.
And it's going to be interrupted as the stars come out anyway, so they won't have time. They can just say, "Oh, the stars are coming out.
Yeah,
Oh, we gotta go."
and that would it would at least automatically give them whatever the magic thing was going to show.
Yeah, maybe it'll just start glowing and doing its thing while they're, smooching
Yeah.
or whatever, and it'll interrupt them before it gets to the situation.
Okay, so I guess the only thing we need to do is the challenging test.
Which will be maybe using that magic item.
Okay.
And they can't quite figure it out, and so they have to wait for Wes to show up or something.
Oh, Wes is going to show up. See, that could happen.
Well, it's in the thing that the mentor might have to show up again.
Yeah, but I
help them
I
with
thought that was covered with him throwing them a bag.
Okay. Well, you
But
can skip
it doesn't
that then.
have to be,
So this could
or
just be a straight up them figuring out how to use the magic item.
or the magic device could be like a walkie-talkie, and they could talk to him.
Oh, okay.
With magic, you can do fucking anything.
Anything you want, yeah.
If you really need to talk, if you think that we haven't covered it, then you could just do it that way. Or he could literally show up. Why not? He could show up. But then they would be like, I guess they
I think it'd be better if he didn't, though.
were pretty easy to
Yeah,
track.
he's busy doing stuff. He can show up later with some story from town or let them know what's going on.
Okay.
So maybe they'll just find the brother
Yeah.
living with hippies in the woods or something.
You mean in this chapter?
Yeah, because they have to succeed at their quest, right?
Oh, well, I don't know. Let's look ahead at the other beats. It looks like beat 7 is actually where we're supposed to be a super romantic situation. So, no. Okay, no, it's fine. All right, and I wasn't looking that up anyway.
Well, if we want that to happen, maybe we should have them in a safer situation. So they've already met the brother in this thing and set them up in camp or done whatever.
Okay.
Enough that so in the next one they're safe enough for now that they can have a romantic situation actually blossom.
Okay. No, that makes sense. So, okay. So this chapter is about them getting away and finding the brother. And they have a magic item or two from Wes and a sack. And they have a moment where she begins to understand that what she needs is not more dick,
Mm-hmm.
but more independence.
It's the classic trope of run, sack moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That's what they
then
all say.
I guess once the magic item works or whatever, then they can just go and scooter along and find the brother. And then that's where the chapter ends.
And that means that when you end this chapter with that, you get to decide what the other poor schlub has to write, because you decide who the brother is, where he is, and
Yeah,
what's
he doesn't
going
even
on.
have a name yet. So
Yeah,
you get to
so-
name someone.
Yeah, and you're really going to be setting up the next bit of business here.
Yes. So then when we come back to the chapter after that, it looks like that's going to be the sex scene.
Or the brother could be running a cult.
That would be. I always love cults.
Cults are always good. Or unless you want it to be a good thing, and otherwise it's a religion. He's out there, doing something. Lots of options out there for you people. Lots of fun.
Okay, I guess that's good.
Will that get us there?
Sure.
It's we only got 999 words, so
I know.
it's always hard.
So, now it's time for you, Ripley,
Mm.
to give a motivational speech. What if someone's shy about writing in?
Well, then you can use a fake name like Pa or
Mwah.
Mwah. Yeah, so you can use a fake name, and no one will know who you are. Just like this is my fake name, and Crandall's fake name.
Wait,
You're not real, Crandall.
what if they're intimidated because they're like, the people who are writing in, they're actually talented writers,
Yeah, but we are also terrible.
There you go. Now this is the speech. Go ahead.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. We're all terrible writers, and you can join us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that'll get it going.
And where else in the world are you going to hear your story with amazing sound effects read on a podcast?
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't. Who knows? Maybe they have other avenues, and they're like, I don't need this. I do this all the time.
Yeah. Well,
Although I haven't found a podcast that does this, but
that's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a hole filler. Take that as you will.
That's right. Mhm.
And take it.
Take all the whole.
Oh yeah. So now people need to know where to find you and things you have to plug and stuff.
And SpookyRoomProductions.com. And there you can learn all about this podcast, the rules for this podcast. There's are the beats there too?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
linked
yeah.
everywhere.
There's
The
the
beats are
beats.
linked. Swind is linked.
Mhm.
Submissions are linked. The Guru website is linked.
Oh, that's good.
And the quotes I think are even linked.
Mhm.
It's linked everywhere.
It's linked everywhere, and you can also learn about the Concordia horror role-playing game. The rule book is mostly done. We're working on art now. We're in art mode over here.
Woo!
And yeah, so that'll be coming up real soon. And the print books are going to be coming soon as well. So if you guys are waiting until there was a print book, they're coming. They're coming.
Stop clamoring for the print books, okay?
Oh, some clamoring
Show
is
some
good.
class.
Dignity.
Okay, clamor with class.
Mm-hmm.
That should be a T-shirt.
CWC.
There's another T-shirt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, then I guess I'm gonna go through the secret bookcase passageway into the studio.
And I'm going to settle back in my reeking beanbag chair.
Reek. Now there's some quality sound effects.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Wow, what an amazing brainstorm. I know now we're all full of fantastic ideas. We know where the story could go. You don't have to follow the brainstorm. Of course, you can do whatever you want as long as it fulfills the beats linked everywhere. But I guess maybe now it's time to give you some 15-second R&R, and that means rules and regulations. I'm going to try to read all these rules in 15 seconds. If you want more specificity, linked everywhere. Okay. My timer is gone now again. It's fine because it was broken, so maybe someone threw it away. I don't know. It's okay. I'm used to this internet timer now. Here we go. 15 seconds. R&R. Starting right. Oh. Now. All right. Every podcast there is a chapter is a 1,000-word limit. You have to keep things are no sex with underage or animals. I'm not going to edit anything. Research is optional. There will be a tombola, a random draw of qualified entries. You can submit as spooky. Okay. Well, you understood that. I forgot to say any form is fine. Anyway, you can submit at spookyroomproductions.com. It's linked everywhere. There, as you may have heard, there's a 1,000-word limit. You can use your name or your pen name. You can put 100 words of self-promo, disclaimer, whatever you want. Those will be the chapter hero's words. I'm really stumbling over my tongue. Sorry. You can also, if you want, submit what you think the whole project should be called, because right now it's just called Untitled Romantasy Project. But I thought if I got enough submissions for an actual name, that would be a tombola at the end of the season. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I can make something up. Also, there's the illustrated podcast on YouTube, Crandall Monk. If you want, you could submit artwork. And I never asked specifically, so I'm going to ask again. The sheep? If you've ever watched the illustrated podcast, there's a section that's coming up where I use a picture of a sheep that I painted. And I don't know, they could use an upgrade. Anyway, if you want to consider, it doesn't have to be a sheep, it can be anything. But if you want to submit any artwork at all, that's also 1 piece per submission period. You don't have to use your real name, blah, blah, blah. Spooky Room Productions, linked everywhere. I should let you know that there is no sign up, no reading fee, nothing stupid or crazy or annoying. I don't want your email. It's fine. Also, though, there is no payment for you if you participate ever in any way, except for the utter joy of knowing that you are contributing to something that's so much fun and making everyone happy. Look how happy everyone is. Look around. Look at how happy everyone is. Anyway, yeah, well, I have like 24 subs on YouTube now, so I mean, probably at least 10 of those people will listen. So that's the kind of, clout that I can lend to you. What do I say? Okay, let's move on. Next, we have the author quote. Linda Berry says, "We don't create a fantasy world to escape reality. We create it to be able to stay." Thank you, Ms. Berry. I think that's something that we all needed to hear. So get to writing, because submissions close on July 2nd, 2025, and the next podcast will drop on July 13th, 2025. Everything is linked everywhere. SpookyRoomProductions.com. Crandall Monk on YouTube. Check it out. I do what I like. I do weird stuff. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. That sounds too interesting. I do things sometimes. Okay, so anyway, it's time to start writing and illustrating. And remember, it's better to finish something than to give up on everything. You know what I mean. Let's go. Linked everywhere.